Hello, and welcome back to my channel. My name, as always, is Bloodstained Wings, and this week, I was actually very inspired. Not by other people's art this time, but actually by my own art. Some of you may know that I live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/bloodstainedwings, and I regularly do giveaway paintings, and somebody asked for some kind of galaxy painting, and I went, you know what's better than just a galaxy painting? Why, galaxy hair, of course. And I really liked how this turned out, but I wanted to have more hair, more sand dunes, more everything. So I went ahead and painted this. As you can see, there is a lot more going on in this painting with the hair, not necessarily with the sand dunes, but definitely with the hair. There's a lot more going on with it. It is much more galaxy, like colorfully done and just really all over the place. You'll get a better view of it in the end of this video because the glare on this is kind of outrageous. Let's see if I can get a better position for this. There we go. That's better. Now you can see a little bit more of the colors going on, especially in that yellow section. And the bottom is much more purpley and dark, but then the top is like yellows and there's green and blues in the middle. So if you wanted to paint along, yes, I did cheat. There is an underpainting here. So if you guys would like to do an underpainting, please feel free to do so. You'll have to do the face and then the sand dunes with the gesso, and then wherever you want the hair to go, paint that entire section black, as well as the top half of the canvas. And then you're going to want to cut out using some sticker paper or adhesive paper, whatever kind of paper you are, even just tape. If you're really good at cutting out tape, then please feel free to use that to guide where you want the hair to go. I kind of wanted the hair to be a little bit more Art Nouveau feeling in its shape, so that's kind of what I went for with this like free-flowing hair galaxy mind idea. But if you are ready to paint along with me, please feel free to bring out your goop and your oil paints, and we'll just get on to it. Don't forget your palette knives. All right, thank you for waiting. So if you didn't already prep your painting, highly recommend that you prep your painting right now. If you need to pause the video to get caught up, please feel free. Underneath here, so this is a sticker on top of some canvas paper. And on the canvas paper, I painted the top half of it black. Well, more than half. The top like 3/4 of it. Maybe more like the top 2/3. Something around there-ish. I did not measure it, so I can't give you a for sure estimate. I just did whatever I thought looked good, so it's probably 2/3 is black, and then the bottom I actually painted with gesso some like sand dune kind of looking things. And you guys saw in the intro that it's all like funky and cool and exciting and rainbowy, and that's what we're going for. We're going for exciting, cool, rainbowy, you know, those kind of vibes. So I applied my goop as per usual. That's the Neomaglip. That's kind of a weird name. It should just be called goop. I hereby petition to name it goop forever. That's my request. All right, so I think I'm gonna do this part yellow, and I'm just gonna kind of like rainbow it down a little bit. That's my plan. So I'm going to apply some of the Viridian hue. I could go sap green, but I like the Viridian hue. Sap green is more transparent, which is why I was like, I could go that one to make it more transparent, but like, I really don't care all that much, so. We're going through with the Viridian hue, because I like it better than sap green. I find the sap green is it's a little poopy. It's a little poopy colored, all right? I'll admit it. It works great for grass, but for galaxies, I think that the Viridian hue is just like, I don't know, more bold. I also have Prussian blue, but before I get into the Prussian blue, because Prussian blue is very strong is the word I'm going to use, because I'm going to have that through here, but I want to have the red on first. so that like the red can exist in a place. Just because the Prussian blue it's just so strong. So I want to get the red on first so that it's not all purple. It's at least a little bit actually red still. All right, going into the blue. Here we go. Loading up with blue. And then we're just gonna blend upwards into the green. Just real gentle like, trying not to take it over. And then I'm gonna switch brushes to the red one and grab some of the blue, but my brush still has some of the red on it. That was alizarin crimson. As you can tell, it's still not really making purple, but we tried to make a little bit of purple. We solidly made an effort to make purple. I don't know if it happened all that well, but we made an attempt, and that's the important part. And then it's just got this like little like red bottom to it. Okay, so now we're gonna paint some galaxies. Now, if you guys have been here for my galaxy paintings in the past, thank you. First of all, for doing that. That's wonderful. I appreciate that. If not, what you're going to need is a fan brush or a brush that you're going to be applying white with. I like to use the fan brush. You don't have to. And then at least one, but preferably two, fluffy round brushes. This is just a fluffy round brush. This is actually a makeup brush. Who uses makeup brushes, right? I do. For art and not for makeup. But I'm going to start in the yellow. Yellow is much weaker of a color compared to the other colors. So you want to start there because if you go into that, it's just going to drag these colors through that. Whereas if you go from the yellow to the green, it will transition through to the green as the white picks up the green. It'll not, like the yellow's not going to go into the green all that much, whereas the green would just go over top of the yellow and you wouldn't see the yellow at all. So start in the yellow always, which is why I always recommend, or not necessarily recommend, but you always see when I do the galaxies, if I have yellow, normally it's at like an edge. I don't normally start with red and then go to yellow and then green and then blue. I'll normally have like yellow at the top and then green and then blue and then purple and then back to red. Or some variation of that where it's like yellow and then green, or yellow and then red and then purple and then blue and then green. Like the idea is to have the yellow as your starting color because it's easier to start from the yellow and then go through doing happy little circles through the green. You can see it's picking up that green now. Through to the blue, picking up that lovely blue. Hopefully getting into a little bit of purple. And then a little bit of red, maybe if we're lucky. We're not. We were not lucky enough to get some red, but we did get purple. And that's exciting. So we're going to start by blending out the yellow, trying to stay in the yellow as much as possible without touching the green. It's very important that you keep in mind where your colors are so that you don't mix back. If you do end up mixing back or having to mix back, use a different brush. This is why I say at least one, but preferably more than one. And so now I'm going a little bit into that green. So I'm just making sure that all the yellow parts are where I like them. And then we can go into the green without any regrets. No regrets! Into the green. And then you can start like shaping some like galaxy fluffy cloud situations happening. And you can definitely just like start doing that. Because you're in the green. And as long as you keep it in the green, it should be good. Yeah, see how I pulled that? That's good. You want things like that to happen. And they'll just happen naturally as you're just like smooshing these colors about, which is good. You want things to kind of sort of happen on their own. Now the blue, because I used Prussian blue, is going to be very dark. And it's going to make everything very dark very quickly. So we're going to have like a real dark area there. And now, because I don't want to spread more of the blue into that purple area, I'm switching to another brush. Just to once again make some kind of attempt at getting some of this to be not only purple, but also maybe red. I'm going to grab a little bit more of the white. Actually, I'm going to do it on a different brush. We're going to grab a different brush. So I'm not using my fan brush. I'm using a different brush, and I'm just gonna kind of try to have like a little bit of red that transitions from the purple back through to the blue. All right, so now that we have that, we can go back in with the brush that had the purple on it, and hopefully it's not too strong, and we're able to get a little bit of that red, just a smidgen of it, to come back through here, and we can have a little extra cloud fluffy doodle happening. I'm gonna actually put a little bit on this brush, just a little bit, because I want, yes, a little bit of red, but also I want it to be like on the edges. There we go. I just wanted a little bit more of an existence there. And it was like real dark, so wanted to brighten it up a bit. I still want to keep a lot of this dark. I'm not looking to make the whole thing like super bright white, but I do like the idea of this like galaxy mind thought situation happening. Okay, cleaning off that little brush that I had, I'm going to use that to blend, and I'm going to grab a little bit of some of the goop. Oh gosh, what's happening? All right, I'm gonna grab a little bit of the goop and mix it with the white. So this is goop and white, not paint thinner, goop. And I'm just gonna come in and like pick little places that I think could use some highlights to make them really stand out and be like, whoa, what's happening? You're like, this is happening. And I'm just gonna very gently blend it, mostly by tapping. And that helps to keep it fluffy, which you want to keep it fluffy. But the idea is that if we highlight a little bit of it, have this little like blended edge going on, it'll look like more defined as opposed to, you know, random and willy-nilly. It'll look more defined, which helps sometimes to just make things look a little extra cool. I'm gonna do the same thing over here. And remember, these are like galaxies, so like you can be as wiggly as you want with your brushes, and it's probably a good thing. Which is one of the greatest things about doing things like galaxies and trees. You're like, I don't have to have my lines be straight. It's fine. Buildings, you want your lines to be straight, and you gotta try as hard as you can to not shake, which is really difficult. So, good luck if you are doing any of those. But if you're like me and you're like, nah, let's just not, then, you know, feel free to do some galaxies because they are fun and like full of like all kinds of willy-nilly and, oh, who cares? Let's just do it. Which is, I don't know, I think it's more fun. You can just do whatever you want. Come down here and then a little bit like, wee, like that. And a little bit over here as well. Just, you know, have a little. We'll start over here. And we'll blend. And we'll clean our brush a little because we picked up too much blue. Too much blue. Don't pick up too much blue. They'll get all mad at me and be like, but now my purple and red are now just blue again. Just keep some paper towel next to your workstation and wipe your brush as you need to. You'll be fine. There we go. See, it just adds like that little bit of detail to like make it look more, I don't know, like three-dimensional. That's what we're looking for with this. It just makes it have like a little edge that makes it look more three-dimensional so that like these parts that don't have an edge feel more round and these parts that do have an edge feel more flat. So it adds this like dimension to it. Now that we've had a lot of fun, actually, you know what? I'm gonna put one more through here I think it needs it. By the way, if you're doing this as well or doing any paintings, feel free to take a step back, look at your painting from a little bit further away. It's gonna help to like see like things that are maybe missing or things that you think could be added. It's just gonna help you with that kind of like thing, because sometimes when you're really, really close to your painting, it's really hard to see what it could need more of or less of or any of those kind of things. So just take a step back, look at it from afar. It'll give you some perspective on how the painting looks as a whole, as opposed to looking at it so close up. I find that, especially for landscapes, it can really help to pull things together. We got little like knobby knobs. Weird knobby knobs. Why are they there? I don't know. Why not? Why not? I'm gonna actually have it do a little bit like that, just to make it a little more interesting again. There, see? And that's what I mean. You can just like change things up, change the way something's shaped. Little lines here and there are gonna make a big difference. All right, time for one of my favorite parts. We're gonna grab some white paint, some titanium white. We're gonna grab our lovely goop, not goop, this is paint thinner, straight up paint thinner. And we're just going to see how much we have here. You don't want to have too much and you don't want to have too little. You want to have the right amount of paint thinner. You want to have kind of an inky consistency so it like runs off the page, but like you also don't want it to be like so soupy and wet that it's like unwieldable. You want to have a happy medium in there. Then once you have that happy medium of your consistency on your white paint, so you can see it's not dripping off of my brush, that's good, but it will drop easily once I flick it with the palette knife. Oh, my ever favorite palette knife. I hope you guys enjoy the palette knife like I do. Oh, that looks nice. Yeah, splatters. Good, just like that. It doesn't need a lot, but by having the right consistency of paint, you end up getting like a lot of this where you can see some really, really big spots, but also some really, really little and fine ones. That's the idea behind the right consistency of the of the paint mixture that you have going on. All right, now that we have our galaxy hair, pull that off. All right, we're gonna pull this one off, although we're gonna end up putting it back down a little bit. I just need to get underneath here. All right. Yeah. And now you guys can start to see the underpainting I did of the sand dunes. There we go. All right, and now I'm gonna paint this part with the sand dunes. And hopefully we can get a nice good color on this and not have it blue. We're gonna see. I'm gonna clean my brush again. I'm going for like a yellow ochre kind of feel to them with maybe a little bit of burnt umber for the like shaded areas like in here. And again, I did this with gesso. So there is a nice layer of gesso down as like a base coat, which is good and nice. All right, let's get some yellow ochre. I didn't prep the yellow ochre and the brown yet. I'm sorry. All right. Okay, goop. Our ever favorite goop. And yellow ochre. Okay, so I've got a mixture of yellow ochre and the goop on my brush here, and I'm just gonna come in and basically cover the entire thing. Now, yellow ochre it's not a transparent color. So if you don't want it to be on top of the black there, be a little careful with it. And I don't want to pick up any of this purple either, or the red, so I'm going to try to do everything and then do that part because I'm a little nervous because I don't want to pick up any of that purple in my sand dunes because I don't want purple sand dunes. I could have had purple sand dunes. Now that I'm thinking about it, it could have been like really cool in sci-fi, and I didn't think about that, but I'm afraid if I did them not yellow, they wouldn't look like sand dunes. You know, sometimes sand dunes have a tendency to look a lot like waves in an ocean. So I'm afraid that if I painted them not yellows and browns and sandy colors, that they might look like not what I want them to look like. So that's why I'm going about it this way. But if you guys think I should do another painting that has, you know, blue sand dunes or black sand, please feel free to let me know in the comments below. And I will probably do that. That's a thing I would probably do if you guys were super interested in seeing me do that. Yeah, I'd probably do it. If you guys are like, meh, I don't care, I probably won't do it. Because as much as I think this painting idea is really cool, I'm not sure everybody else does. I super think it's cool though. Sometimes I have ideas and I'm like, yes. You know, like when I'm asleep and I get inspired. It happens. Not all the time, but it does happen. Okay, we're gonna try to very gently, super gently, or actually, since I have the white on my brush, let's start there. I'm gonna get the white. Actually, maybe I should do this with the paint thinner instead of the goop. Let's just do the goop. I'm gonna highlight the wrong sides. Highlight this. Highlight the sides that are not in shadow. Not in shadow. There we go. Just so it gives a little, like, I don't know. It's gonna help. An illusion of highlights, I think, helps to make it 3D. Just as much as the shadows will, I think the highlights will as well. So I'm gonna do that. Just a little. There we go. I'm having fun, so I'm not talking all that much, but please enjoy the brush sounds. There you go, brush sounds. Super subtle brush sounds. There we go. Try and make these 3D feeling. I hope you guys are having a nice, relaxing day today. Whatever day you're watching this, I hope it's treating you nicely. I hope you had a nice cup of tea at some point. I love tea. For anybody who stops by my streams, you know this already, but anybody who doesn't stop by my streams, you might not know that I love tea. And I hope that if you have tea today, that it's a good tea, that it really soothes and relaxes you, or hypes you up if that's what you need it to do. Teas can do so much for you. There we go. Nice little highlights. Okay, now that we have super subtle highlights, let's try to get some shadows that are maybe less super subtle, more actually there. What do you think? Okay, let's start back here. We'll do this. We'll do this. come back in and blend. Okay, I'm just gonna clean that brush. There's more paint down there than I wanted there to be, so we're just gonna. There we go. When in doubt, finger paint. That's important. Go. There, okay. It's in the background, so I think it'll be okay. There we go. That one looks good. I gave it like a lot of depth going on in there. It really looks like whoosh. That's words. You're welcome. Enjoy my words. It looks whooshed. Yeah, whooshed. Okay, we got like some big ones looking whooshed. That's good. Try and get some more here. This over here and over here, and then this one to be whooshed. All right, start blending. There we go. Now we're getting the hang of it. See, all it does is take a little time to get the hang of it, and then you are good to go with this. If anybody is painting along, hello, I hope you're having fun. I hope you're enjoying this painting. If you had to pause and come back because you were prepping your painting, sorry about that. Sorry about that, but welcome back. You guys can have as many or as little sand dunes as you would like in your paintings, by the way. You don't have to have this exact number of sand dunes. I thought they looked nice. That was my premise behind this. I thought it looked nice. A little one right there. I think it just needs a little bit more of a what the heck is going on here kind of vibe. Let's grab a little bit more. Go right through there, through here, and through there. There we go. And we'll just do a little blending with me. Come on and push that brush, yeah. Come on, baby. I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. I hope you enjoy my random singing. It happens. This stream was brought to you by random singing. Oh, I forgot that one back there. Whoops. Don't leave this guy out. There we go. Very gentle because that's in the neck. Pull it right out. There we go. Alright, just like a little bit of like some sand dune feelings. I think I'm actually going to grab a little bit more of the yellow and like just want a little bit more of the yellow. Kind of to add some, like, I don't know, mid-tones, I guess, through it, especially in the places where, like, there's just, it kind of doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm just trying to add some, like, mid-tone back into it, I guess. And add a little detail here and there. It'll make you feel grand. Alright, there we go. Yeah, that looks just like a little bit better. I'm going to do a little bit of darkness with the yellow ochre here, just to kind of blend these two ideas together a little bit more, to marry them. There we go. I'm going to pull that one out a little bit more. There. I think that looks much more subtle, but also just that little touch of extra details. It's real subtle. Do I want to make her lips red? No. I think I want to leave her canvas colored. I think that's going to make it look the most elegant, as if she is just canvas colored, no goop on her. It also kind of goes with the black rawness of that. I think that that works. Blend that right. There we go. There we go. Now we've got some like real interesting things happening, and it's all just done mostly with like blending things out. All right, I really enjoyed this painting. I hope you guys did too, because this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the colors and the overall feel of this painting. I like to think that this painting kind of represents, you know, when you have ideas when you're sleeping, or like when you're feeling really depressed and you see a really nice piece of art and it just inspires you, and you're just like, oh, I feel like so inspired by like the ideas that are in my own head. And like, even if I'm looking at like a sea of nothing, just the sadness of the world, there's still some beauty that can remain inside of us. And you know, just we can share that beauty with the world if we wanted to. So there that is. Try to get you some variations on those colors. I want to give a special thank you to all of my Patreons whose name are scrolling by. Thank you so much. If you guys would like to join my Patreon or to buy this painting, please feel free to check the link tree below. I really appreciate anybody who takes a gander. And please remember that you are loved and you deserve to be loved. And I'll catch you guys next week. Mwah!